Do you plan your life based on your current reality? Or do you plan your life according to what you believe is possible? I'm Tanya, and today's video is going to be talking about the importance of the importance of not allowing your reality to block your destiny. With God, all things are possible. Of course, we've all heard this. We've either heard it or we've read it in scripture. But do we really believe that? You see, many of us tend to base our decisions, how we move about in life. We make those decisions based on what we can physically see. And I know all too well how difficult it can be to dream beyond what you are seeing. It's easier said than done. We can look and we can see the situation we're in. We can see what we're up against. And it's easy to say, well, I won't let that dictate what I believe. But it can be done because everything around you and everyone around you may be saying it can't happen. It won't happen. If we can grab hold of the notion, if we can grab hold of the truth that with God all things are possible, we can then shift our perspective. We can then have a different mindset of what is possible for us in spite of what seems to be going on. So as I mentioned before, most of us have heard the scripture or read the scripture that with God all things are possible. On the surface, when we are asked if we believe that, we wouldn't hesitate with a yes. Truth is, we tend to base our decisions on what we believe ourselves to be capable of. I want you to let that set in for a moment. Just think about that. Because it is often casually said, be realistic, or I'm just being realistic. And this is usually said to a person that is attempting to think outside of the box, to do something different, to do something out of the norm. It's normally said to put this person back in their place. Come back down to reality, they say. But keep in mind, they're saying this. They're saying, come back down to reality, or I'm just keeping it real based on their own experiences. And so what is happening is that they are projecting their fears, their thoughts, and their beliefs onto you, causing you to second guess what you believe is possible for yourself. Sometimes we can be perfectly fine with a new idea, with a new goal, with a new dream, until we take it to other people. And then they project that negativity, that come back down to reality. They project that onto your focus. But what most don't know is this. What's imagined to be possible is way more powerful than your current reality. I'm going to say that again. What is imagined to be possible is far more powerful than your reality. The focusing on your current reality, it keeps you stuck because you have accepted it as your truth. You have accepted it as your reality. Don't get me wrong. It's there. It's happening. But you don't have to accept it as your end all, be all. You don't have to accept it as the end of your story. Think about it. We are so dedicated to our current circumstance that a lot of times we can't even move past it. We can't dream outside of the current circumstance that we're in. Albert Einstein said that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. So what that means is that, the situation exists, but if you can use your imagination to think of something different, to dream a new dream, that's more powerful than where you are right now. Imagine that. What I can imagine for myself is more powerful than what I'm seeing right now. So when someone says be realistic, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the meaning of realistic, what that means. So the definition of realistic is having or showing practical awareness of things as they are. The word is more often than not misused and abused to get a point across. Because notice the definition says having an awareness. I don't need you to bring my reality to my awareness. I'm living it every day. I already know what I'm facing, what I'm up against. So I don't need another person to bring that into my awareness, to make me stop dreaming, to make me stop thinking about a different outcome. So when someone tells you to be realistic, don't accept that. You already know what you're dealing with. I want to deal with something else. I want to change this reality. And here we are planning our entire lives based on the situation that we are facing in the moment. Never coming to the conclusion that we can make a decision and we can change our current situation to better suit our lives. How things are is what it is. It is what it is. But it doesn't have to always be that way. So how do we change this mindset? I'm glad you asked. Remember, where there is a will, there is a way. I know, cliche, right? It's easier said than done. Where there is a will, there is a way. I'm not telling you to go off in some fantasy and pretend as if though what's happening is not happening, but just always know where there is a will, there is a way. Meaning, if you desire to get out of that situation, a way will be made. You can rest assured that there is a way to get out of the situation. And when you think this way, you get the opportunity to see exactly what you are made of. If we decide to allow ourselves to desire what we cannot see in the physical or what we have knowledge of, and instead we place our focus on what we can see in the spiritual. The how has no choice but to show up. Make your reality work for you. Yeah, you have an undesirable situation, but make it work for you. Being realistic doesn't have to be viewed as a negative, only if you allow it to be negative in your life. Although when someone else says to you, be realistic, it's meant to stop you in your tracks. It's meant to put you in your place, so to speak. But you have the power to turn that thing around, to flip it around and make it work for your good. Make it work in your favor. Look at it this way. You being realistic could take on a completely different meaning than the meaning that the other person intended for it to have on you. For you, it could possibly spark your imagination, causing you to get real about your situation and realizing that you are better than your situation. Your situation does not have to define you, and it should not. Realizing that no matter where you are right now, that you deserve better and you can have better. Saying, yes, this is where I am. I'm here right now, but over there is where I want to be. So instead of keeping your focus on where you are right now, right here, place your focus on over there. Set your desires to a greater standard, a greater outcome. So often we get our current reality mixed up with our future destination, therefore keeping us in a perpetual state of denying ourselves of what's possible. Not realizing that reality is a right in the moment place of being, not meant to be a forever moment. Things are constantly evolving. You are constantly evolving, regardless of if you are putting forth effort toward the things you want to see happen in your life, or if you are just staying right there where you are. You're still evolving. Every year you're getting older. Every month you're getting a little bit older. So we are constantly evolving. And so your reality can change the moment you make a decision that you want something different. Another thing to remember is that you are not bound by reality. It doesn't have to put you in a chokehold or put you in chains. You are not bound by what is going on in your life right now. The great news is that we are not trapped by what our current reality is showing us. Only if you choose to live your life with the belief that with God, all things are possible. Can't go wrong with that. Now, granted, if you want things to be different in your life, yeah, some action is going to be required on your part. First, you got to believe that the reality that you desire is possible. Then you must take the necessary actions to bring it to pass. So you're going to do that by reading, researching, and trying new things. You never know what will work unless you try it. Try new things until something clicks. Because if you do nothing, you're not going to get any change. So keep going, keep trying. Think about it. Where would we be if someone hadn't thought that having a motorized vehicle was possible? Think about that. Where will we be today? Or if someone hadn't thought about a device that we could be having a conversation on and we got information at our fingertips, where will we be? These are all things that we could not imagine being without today. But all of these things, all of these modern day luxuries that we get to enjoy today is the result of someone using their imagination and believing in their imagination enough to give it a try. In spite of, because everything around them at that time was telling them that it wasn't possible. We are capable of so much more than we give ourselves credit for. If you have a desire for something, you don't have to puzzle your brain trying to figure out the how. The first step is you believing that there is a solution, that there is a how. And so by you believing those things, the how can't help but show up. You can change your situation the moment you decide to be different. I'm Tanya. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk soon.